Welcome to the demo of Service Credits. So, if you're familiar, version 2 of the app is available right now for sign up if you go to app.chargingthefuture.com, and that is what is shown on the right hand screen. And on the left hand is a mock up of what version 3 is going to be, which is forthcoming. So version 3, basically the upgrade of the app is about 50% done. So still a lot more to do, but we're almost there. And what I want to do is provide a preview into what's going to be there so that way you can hopefully sign up right now, because if you sign up now for version 2, all that data will be migrated to version 3, but also give you opportunity to provide any feedback if you have any. I'm super excited to introduce service credits, which doesn't exist in version 2. So version 2 on the right hand side here, we see that these are the features slash apps that are available in the TI skills economy. And this is about 8 of them. There's about 8. In version 3, there's 17. So if you go to this link now, which will be available up until the release of version 3, because once version 3 is available, there's no need for you to click through mockups. You can just access the app directly. But as you can see here, there's now 17 features, and that's why it's kind of taking some time to release this for use. And I'm creating a video for every single feature, so that way it keeps the videos a bit short. I did post on Quora a video that clicks through all of them, but then it ends up being about an hour. So I want to do some short videos on each feature and potentially provide a deeper dive into some of the features. And so this video is focused on service credits. If you go to this link and click at the bottom, you can click through the screenshots at your own pace. And so now for service credits, I'm very excited about this feature. So the intention of service credits is basically it's a utility token available only within the TI skills economy. And the reason why I decided to do service credits, it's a way for targeted individuals who, for example, are not working, but you can be working, who are providing value within the TI skills economy to basically receive rewards and tokens for what they're providing, and then be able to exchange that for services and goods again within the platform. And so the reason why, again, this is significant is as a targeted individual, you get mobbed out of employment. They bleed us dry by like stealing our stuff. You know, for example, in my case, mobbed me out of employment, stole my vehicle. Don't steal your personal items, so that way you're constantly having to spend money. Um, you know, I heard of another TI where they're constantly uh, getting rear-ended, and the whole goal is spend a bunch of money, increase your insurance rate, spend your money on repairs, all that type of stuff. And so what ends up happening is they're basically making us destitute, right? And then on top of that, it's also the intention is to remove your autonomy, um, and make it so you're dependent on their trafficking network to survive. And so with service credits, that completely eliminates that. Another example as well is, for example, they interrupt your financial accounts. They'll freeze and unfreeze your banking, checking, your cards. They'll close your accounts with fake fraudulent activity, reports and all that type of stuff. And so, again, example in my case, they closed my Cash App account, right? So to restrict my ability to move money. And so with service credits, it's completely outside of their trafficking global economy, right? And so this is now something that can't be disrupted. So the first screen that we have here for service credits, this is what it looks like if you're not signed in on desktop. And then once you're signed in, this is what it's going to look like. Now, keep in mind, again, these are mock-ups. And so the data here and also some of the language is not going to be what's available inside the app. So as a simple example, it shows here USD, but that's going to be 100% removed because, again, this is a utility token you can only use within this platform, within the TI skills economy. But remember, there's an estimated 5 million targeted individuals globally that means we can potentially reach, you know, up to $300 billion market, right? And so with service credits, it can support that. And so even though this is a utility token available only within this platform, you can still use it for the same types of goods and services you would if you were participating in the global economy, which the human trafficking network, is sustained on. And so, you know, in this mock-up here, right, if you look here, it says recent transaction, it talks about skills hunt, it talks about lighthouse, it talks about foundation. Real quick, we're not going to do a big dive into all the features in the app for this video, but Lighthouse is the Airbnb version for targeted individuals, right? And with the introduction of service credits, because Lighthouse exists right now in version 2, but it's a very simplistic implementation. You can go in on Lighthouse and you can make a listing. You can have your own properties, you can match with individuals, but in terms of transacting, you can obviously provide, free housing or temporary housing, whatever you want to do for another targeted individual. But now with version 3, with the introduction of service credits, now individuals can now, exchange housing for with these utility tokens, right? And then that other individual who's receiving those utility tokens can then use it for something else. So what could be something else? We have Socket Relay, which is like a hybrid, which is kind of like a Craigslist. Let's just keep it simple for this video. And so, you've provided housing to another targeted individual. They've paid you in service credits. You go on Socket Relay and you make a post saying, hey, uh, you know, the Spectorati stole my phone, like in my case, they stole my phone, they stole my headphones, I need a replacement. You can go on Socket Relay, find someone who has listed one or request it, and then you can exchange for those pair of headphones for a phone in service credits if that other targeted individual accepts it, right? And so so this screenshot is your transactions within the platform with service credits. I'm very excited to introduce this because it really provides a way for targeted individuals who are seeking to regain their autonomy and self-sufficiency. You can now 100% do it, right? And again, estimated 5 million targeted individuals, that's the size of, say, like Finland, of Singapore. So that means that this is very much doable with each other in terms of creating a circular economy. And service credits really enables that. Um, and that's pretty straightforward. I mean, again, you can click through these screens at your own pace and kind of look at each thing here. Again, the exact copy that's listed here is not necessarily going to be what's in, that's going to, be transferred over to the working app, but this is the gist of what the design is going to be. This just shows the screen of what it looks like when you have a zero balance, or you're just, you just create an account and you don't have any service credits. This is just showing you what the screen looks like when it's loading. Now, one of the big differences between version 2 and version 3 of the app is that version 2 is only available on the web. We do have the feature Chime, which is available in an Android form. However, everything else you have to access through the web browser. With version 3, everything that's available in the web app is going to be in the mobile app. So this is just a screen showing, what it looks like when you're first visiting service credits on mobile. On mobile, what it looks like when you're logged in. On mobile, when it looks like when you have a zero balance and you haven't used any credits. And what the screen looks like when it's loading on mobile. And that's pretty much it. It's very straightforward. I'm very excited to introduce this. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know.